Welcome to our ICUsteps Chester exercise video. All references by our trainers to ICUsteps or ICU relate to our ICUsteps Chester group. If you would like to join us or have any questions, you will find all of our contact details at the end of the video.
Hi, welcome to the ICUsteps workout. This is going to be a chair-based workout that pretty much anybody can do, with lots and lots of alternatives and variations for those of you that feel perhaps slightly more advanced or slightly more beginner than others. We're going to be using a variety of equipment today. However, all of the exercises and movements can be done without any equipment. So for example, if we're doing a bicep curl with either, as you can see, a tin of beans or a light dumbbell, if you have those available to you, then great. However, the movement of the bicep curl can still be done without any weight if you feel you're not quite ready to progress to weights yet. We also are going to use, for a couple of the exercises, a resistance band. Now that may be something that you don't have. These are widely available and not particularly very expensive, but I know that the ICUsteps group can provide these for you should you want them. And we'll do a couple of exercises using the bands, but again, the exercises that I perform with the bands can be done without them, or perhaps even just holding your can of baked beans. But I'll talk you through that as we get a little bit more into it. The main thing to mention is that if you find anything is super uncomfortable, or that it is too difficult, or it gives you pain, then please stop. Do something that feels good, shoulder rolls, or just have a little bit of a rest until you feel you can join back in again. Or of course, always build up to doing the full session, maybe only do half of it at first. It's really totally up to you how much you do, and it's very, very important that you listen to your body and don't push yourself too hard, because otherwise that can set you back. So I do apologize, I'm quite bright, I know, but I teach these sessions in my window, so please forgive me if I'm quite washed out. Hopefully I should be non-ghost-like when I go back up to the chair. So if you're ready, have all of your equipment by your chair so that you haven't got to get up and down too much, and also have a drink of water by your side should you feel you need that, if you need to take a break. And if you're ready, we'll get going. Okay, so the first thing we need to make sure that we do is we need to practice our breathing, to just familiarize ourselves with the mechanics of breathing, because sometimes breathing, even though it's one of the most natural things in the world, can be something that we do incorrectly, believe it or not. So sitting on your chair, we're just going to take 1 minute to almost warm up the body from the inside. So we're going to practice our breathing. So sit nice and comfortably, but try and sit nice and tall. And then I'd like you to take a big deep breath in through your nose, and then a big deep breath out through your lips. Good. Carry on with that same process. Breathing in deep and breathing out slowly and controlled. Now, please keep doing that. As you do this, I want you to notice whether you are using your shoulders or the upper section of your chest to take your breath in. If you feel that you are doing a huge amount of movement, or there is a lot of tension that's created in your upper body, I want you to try and eliminate that by gently drawing the shoulders down. And instead of breathing into the upper part of the chest, I want you to see if you can breathe into your abdomen and your rib cage. Okay, so inhale, laterally expanding, so expanding out to the sides, breathing almost into the back of your body. And then as you breathe out, using your tummy muscles to gently press that air away. Good. Another few moments here. Breathing in and breathing out. And hopefully what you'll feel is that you're using your rib cage, your tummy muscles, your diaphragm, the muscle that sits underneath your lungs, to create this inhale and this exhale. Okay, and that sensation of tightening is what I mean when I say engage your core muscles. So when you get that tight sensation, as you do at the bottom of a breath, that's the feeling I want you to try and recreate when I ask you to engage your core muscles. Perfect. So we should have got the measure of that breathing already. You can spend a little bit more time doing that if you wish, but if you're ready, we're going to move into some exercises. So let's go into some nice easy shoulder rolls. And this is, we're not going to do anything too stressful today. So I would say that this workout was very beginner to maybe intermediate / beginner. We're not going to do anything advanced in this session today. Keeping it rolling nice and slowly, all the way up to the ears and back. So this process that we go through initially is quite in depth. We're going to work through all of the phases of the body, all of the sections of the body, just to get you nice and warm and to get the body and the muscles ready and to warm up the joints. Perfect. Bring that shoulder roll into a bit more of an arm roll now. So drawing circles with your elbows. Perfect. Doesn't have to be too high. I know that there will be some of you out there that struggle with your shoulders perhaps. So this movement can stay below the shoulder line. And then let's change direction. So let's roll the shoulder blades forwards. Good. Trying to get as much movement in the shoulders as we can. And if you haven't used your upper body a lot, even doing this can make them feel quite tired. Relax there. Perfect. Then what I'd like you to do is look over your left shoulder. Stay nice and tall. Gently pass through the center and look over your right shoulder. Excellent. Over your left and over your right. And what we want to try and focus on here is keeping your body nice and square. So trying not to turn the shoulder as you turn the head, but not cranking the head, just gently allowing it to turn as much as it physically can over the shoulder, just warming up and finding those nice neck muscles and the top of the shoulder. Brilliant. Come back into center, and then we're just going to look down towards the floor and look straight back up to me. Really super simple. Down towards the floor, straight back up to me, down towards the floor. You might want to tuck the chin right in on this last one. And then back up, and then just finish with a few more shoulder rolls. Perfect. Really good. Okay, I want you to shuffle a little bit further forwards on your chair so that you're not fully supported by the back of the chair if you're happy to. And at this point here, we're just going to take some rotations. Now, please be mindful that if you've had any abdominal surgery or you know that you have a weakness or some form of issue in the abdominal wall, then please be mindful of twisting. Your specialist or your physio will have said whether you should avoid twisting. If that's the case, please don't do this. Just bear with me and I'll give you an exercise to follow. But for those of you that are happy, we're just going to take some very gentle twists, passing the hands left and right. Brilliant. For those of you who do have abdominal issues, all I want you to do is an exaggerated breath. Inhale and exhale as you just gently curve the body back into the chair. Lift and curve the body back into the chair. Everybody else is doing rotations. Keep those going for another few seconds. And if you are doing your compression or your C shape, we're just pulling that tummy in. And we're trying to warm the spine in a slightly different way that doesn't impact the tummy area. Good. Last few seconds here. And relax. Brilliant. Now I want you to take your mind to your wrists. So we're just going to roll. Now you can do one and then the other. You can do wrist rolls both at the same time. Or if you find it's easier to roll one, just around 10 rotations, maybe clockwise and anti-clockwise on each wrist. Some of you will find that if you've not done a lot of weight work before or gripping hold of things, that your grip will start to tire quite quickly. And that's okay. It just means that we need to strengthen the forearm and the wrist muscles. And this will help to warm it up. Take it to the other arm. Good. All those little muscles that we take for granted, but we do need to make sure we prioritize when we're taking a bit of a warm up. Nice rolls of the wrists. Good. So we should feel nice and warm in the upper body now. Perfect. Turning our attention to our lower body. What I want you to do for me is just shuffle in your seat. So as you can see, I don't really lift my foot from the floor. I just lift the intensity from one buttock to the other. Yeah, so lift and lower, almost a little bit like a puppet on a string. Lift and lower. So we're transferring the weight from the left to the right. And in doing that, we feel this sort of gentle lift and lower of the pelvis and a little bit of warm and work in the lower back. Good, keep that going. Just all part of the warm up, so don't worry if it doesn't feel too difficult, but also don't panic if this feels quite challenging. For some of you it will. Lift and lower, perfect. And then relax. And then we're going to take a gentle extension. So we're just going to tap the toe out in front, tap the toe out in front on the opposite leg. So if you feel you want to, you can shuffle a little bit more to the edge of your chair. That will allow you a bit more range. If you're scooched all the way back, you'll probably find you can only take a gentle tap, which is absolutely fine if that's the level you're happy with. However, if you want a little bit more, you can go all the way out. Okay, I'm going to ask you to keep doing this movement. If you feel you're able, I now want you to attempt a gentle kick up of the knee. If that feels too much, then stay with the toe tap. Gentle kick up of the knee. So we're trying to keep the knees in line with each other. Don't let them drop too much. If that's a real challenge to do that, then I would probably recommend, just for now, staying on the floor. Last 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Give the legs a little bit of a shake, have a bit of a breather. Last warm-up exercise or mobilization exercise is going to do a little bit of abduction, which just means taking the leg away from the center of the body. Try and stay nice and tall, tummies in, and then we're just going to tap and tap. Now, I'm taking a relatively exaggerated movement to give you the example. However, if that's too wide for you, then just taking the foot to the outside of the chair, just so that the knee moves away very small, in a very small manner, is absolutely fine. Or you can, of course, abduct or extend the leg all the way out to the side. What I want you to try and avoid is turning your body with it. Okay, so we keep our tummy brace as we practiced in the first phase of the workout, and we work the legs in isolation to the upper body. That will give you some lovely warmth in the hips. Last couple here. If you've had enough, then you can break and rest. Well done. Give the legs a little bit of a shake. Perfect. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go into a set of exercises. So we're going to do 3 exercises. We're going to do each of those 3 exercises together, and we're going to do them twice over. Now, of course, because this is a recording, if you choose to only do them once, you can fast forward to the next block. If you choose to do all of the exercises 3 times, you can just hit pause on the last one, the second set, and then you can move to the next one when you've done your 3rd. So it's really dependent on how you feel, how difficult you find the exercises, and how much time you might have on any one day. 1 round of each exercise is always going to be better than not doing them at all. So see how you go with it. All right. So we're going to start with an easy seated march. So on the edge of your seat, so 50% off, 50% on, so that you feel that you've got a decent amount of movement. We just check in with our body, take a big deep breath to make sure that we're prepared. And we're going to go for a march. So we're just marching in the seat here, okay? So we want lightness in the toes, and we want lovely length in the spine. We don't want anybody crouching down. And I would rather, at this stage, you go a little slower, but make the movement relatively big, than going fast and reducing the size of the movement. We want to try and use the muscles to their fullest capacity rather than raising the heart rate too quickly too soon. So just get some big movements in here. Well done. I'm going to keep looking at my watch to make sure that we're doing the right time. 10 more seconds if you're happy to. Remember, if this is too long, you have a break and join in on the next exercise if you can. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Well done. Roll out the shoulders, have a breather. So a little bit of a rest in between each exercise, but because we're focusing on different parts of the body, we generally try and keep the rest to a minimum. But again, you listen to the body and see what it's telling you. So this next exercise, round 2, we're going to do with the band. Round 1, we're going to do without. Elbows into the side of the body, hands in line with your tummy, okay? Elbows into the sides of the body. Remember, no slouching, sit up nice and tall. And then all we're going to do here is we're going to turn the arms away and then thumbs go towards the back and palms go up. And then we're going to bring them back together like we're going to do a clap. So we're going to open, little squeeze, and then close. Open, little squeeze, and then close. Just notice that my arms aren't high. I'm staying at 90 degrees at the bottom. My body doesn't really move forwards and backwards when I use my arms, so I'm trying to isolate through the shoulder rather than using my body to create the movement. So as much as you can, you've got to try and stay still. And then at the back of the bottom of the movement, our chest lifts up nice and proud. Perfect. We're going to do another 2 more. 1 more. And relax and release. So for some of you who have issues with the shoulders, or perhaps you have been in a prone position through your treatment, you might find that that's actually quite challenging even without the band. So I would recommend you don't add the band until you feel ready. Exercise number 3. Let me remind myself what we've got. Okay, perfect. Now what we're going to do is, again, we're going to do the exercises with no weights, just moving the body. And we're going to bring in a little bit of coordination challenge here. So exercise number 3 is an alternating lateral raise and leg lift. Back down, other side. Lateral raise and leg lift. Give it a little go. So we extend the left leg and we lift the right arm. Extend the right leg and lift the left arm. Good. As we bring this arm up, we're hinging through the shoulder, so not going any higher than shoulder line. And we're making, again, sure, as we always do, that we're engaged through the tummy and we sit nice and tall. Perfect. Good. No leaning back allowed here. Yeah, no leaning back allowed. Again, if extending the toe or the foot all the way up is too much, then you can just tap the toe forwards. All right, you can reduce the size of the lift. There's always ways that you can make this a little bit more manageable. Good, let's go for another 3, 2, and 1, and have a break. Well done. Okay, so hopefully you're feeling all right. We should definitely be warm by now. So round number 2, we're going to introduce the equipment should you want to, or you can stay if you found that challenging enough with no weight and no equipment. All right, so first of all, though, we're going to go for our marching on the spot in our seat. You are more than welcome to come up into a standing march should you feel ready for that. But you can always keep it in the seat or come back down to the seat should you want to. Are we ready? In 3, 2, 1, here we go, march. Fantastic. So as I said, big movements. Focus on that breathing. Try and relax the shoulders. Good. You can take it to standing if you feel that you are balanced and able. Some of you will be in a much later part of your recovery, so you might find that this is the little bit of adaptation that you need to feel it's working. Perfect. We have 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. Well done. We'll get some breath in and some shaking of the muscles. If you want to have a drink, please feel free. And then for those of you that are going to use the band, we take the band in our hands. Now you can use a loop band as well. A little bit more difficult to get the range, especially if it's quite a tight band, but it is possible. So we're going to grasp the band nice and gently with a decent amount of slack in the band at the front of the body. Same principle applies. Nice and tall, tummy in, and then we're going to open and rotate the thumbs and close. Open, rotate the thumbs and close. Now when you introduce the band, because it makes it much more difficult, there is a likelihood that you will start to use the arm and the arm alone. So you will sometimes roll forwards. Try not to let that happen. At the back of the movement here, try and pinch your shoulder blades together, lifting the chest and close. Good, keep the elbows in and close. I reckon we've got at least 3 more of these in us. Good. Remember, it's not, don't get too head up and focused on repetition range. If something feels challenging after 2 or 3 repetitions, then it's perhaps too hard. However, if you complete anything between 10 and 15, just listen to your body and it will tell you when you have done enough. Good, and relax, well done, give the shoulders a roll. Our last exercise in this block is going to be our leg extension. So I have here a trusty can of baked beans, which you can use. I have a slightly set of heavier weights, but for today, I'm going to join you with the beans and we're going to do our coordination challenge. So ready? Shoulders down, tummy in, nice and tall, and we're going to lift for 1, 2, 3, perfect. Notice that my arm that I'm lifting stays bent. It doesn't go straight. If you straighten the arm, it makes it much more difficult in the shoulder. We're not really after that level of difficulty yet. So just keep the movement a hinge with a soft and bent elbow. As little rotation and movement in the body as you can. Last 5, well done. Last 4, 3, nice and slow. 2, 1 more. And relax, well done, give the shoulders a roll, beans can move away. Super, so enter round 2, exercise set round 2. So we have another heart raising type exercise, which of course you can do standing should you feel you want to, or you can stay in your seat. For the next exercise, we're going to bring our hands up to just below our chin. We're going to get our Muhammad Ali's on now, and we're going to take a very easy punch. So we're just going to gently punch, not with too much aggression, but with a nice softness. Imagine that you're holding a baby bird in your hand. So we don't want to create too much tension or reduce the blood flow in the hands. And we just want to keep it nice and loose. Good. Tempo is 1 and 2, and 1 and 2. That's it. Perfect. Good. Punching. So you can do this exercise standing. You might find that it's a little more challenging on the balance. You have to work a little harder when you're not sitting down. I reckon we're going to do another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Okay, so some of you might have found that quite a challenge. If you did, take this opportunity to get some breath in, have a breather. If you're feeling okay, we're going to get ready for the next exercise. So this may have been one that you've seen before because it's a classic physiotherapy exercise to get you back up and running, or perhaps not running, but normal life. Feet are going to come just outside the hips. So for me, it's actually chair width. Okay, and then we're going to perch on the edge of our chair. So not much so that we fall apart, but just so that you don't feel restricted on your chair. Okay, so come to the edge of your chair. As you can see with me here, I have my ankles almost directly underneath my knees. Okay, not out in front and certainly not tucked underneath you so that I'm on the ball of my foot. I need to be able to feel that I have total pressure under my heels. And I'm going to take the hands to my shoulders, keeping my gaze forwards. Try not to look down. A very gentle lean with the chest, pull the tummy in, and then come on up to standing. Nice and tall. We slowly descend in the same way we came up. So hips back, bottom down, sit up tall. Lean forwards, stand up, give the buttocks a little squeeze, hinge back, sit down, nice and tall. And we call this exercise very simply sit to stand. Good. And it's almost like the starter of a squat. So this is basically the same mechanics as a squat that you may have seen or may have done in the gym prior to being poorly. Good. Now these are quite tough, especially for very beginners, so please only do as many as you feel you can. We're going to do one more if you're happy to. Relax and have a breather. I know that some of you will find those quite challenging, so catch your breath. If next round when we do them you feel that you can only do half as many, then aim to build up to the same amount of repetitions, okay? All right, so this time we're going to, again, use a light weight, but you can, if you're a very beginner, just do the movements with no weight. Sitting in your chair, bringing your cans or your light dumbbells to the side of the body, nice and long, down to the sides of the thighs. We're going to bicep curl up, and then if you feel happy to, we're going to take one of the cans of beans over our head before we return down. Now, if you have problems with the shoulders, please don't do this. Lift and lower. Good. Also, if you've had any type of heart surgery, or if you do really struggle with blood pressure, then I wouldn't recommend doing many, if any, exercises overhead until you really feel like you're at a stage where you can do that, okay? So if that's the case, we just do bicep curls and we don't worry about the overhead press. But for those of you that can and you want to work the shoulders, then you can add that single bicep curl, single shoulder press after the bicep curl. Good. Alternating each side. I think I did the same side twice then. Well done. We'll do one more for those of you that are happy. And we're going to rest. Well done. Super. So that might be the first time that you've lifted anything over your head for absolutely ages. And if you felt that it was okay, happy days. If you felt it was too much, take the weight away or eliminate the over the head completely. Ready for our first set of exercises, which is our punch. Ready? And let's go. I'm going to actually physically time you last time. I did a guesstimate last time. It was around about 30 to 40 seconds. You get quite good at that when you have to time sets. It seems to be an autopilot thing and you end up getting it right. But like I said, it's not, we don't need to get too fired up about repetition range and exactly 30 seconds. We do it until we feel, thanks very much, but we've done enough. Yeah, as I thought, about 10 seconds to go, punching forwards. Keeping breathing. It's easy to hold the breath when you're not realizing. And rest. Whew. Shake off the arms. And we're going to try those sit to stands again. Now, I have three options for you. One is you do as few as you want to, or not at all. Two, you do them exactly as we did before. Three, if you feel that you are far enough into your recovery process and want a bit more challenge, you can do it with dumbbells or with your weights, and we bring those to the front of the body to add difficulty. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1. Let's go for 8 of these. So stand. Oh, we've lost my head. And take a seat. Tummy in. Now, it's really important here that we don't collapse back on the chair. You have to make as much effort going slowly back to your seat as you do coming out of your seat. Perfect. We're halfway. We're going to do 4 more. Another thing to be mindful of is watching the alignment of your knees. Hopefully you can see with me, my knees stay more or less in line with my toes and my knees stay in line with my hips. Don't let the knees buckle in. One more. And relax. Well done, have a breather. Oh, I'm gonna keep my weights, aren't I? I forgot. Legs a bit of a shake. Come to the edge of your seat, ready for those bicep curl to shoulder press. You know the rules on shoulder press, I won't reiterate them. Shoulders down, tummy in, nice and tall. Double, single if you want it. Good, double, single if you want it. Fantastic. Shoulders stay down. We're always breathing. You got it. Almost there. Let's do one more. Bicep curl to shoulder press and relax. Good. Block number 2 complete. So as I said before, if you found that that was good, you enjoyed it, you like the exercises, you can pause me and then you can do another set of those 3 exercises, okay? With or without weights. For everybody else, we're going to go straight into block number 3 and we're going to do something quite challenging, but let's see how you feel with this, which is called a seated jack, okay? So this is can be a very small movement or a very big movement. We'll start very small. Ready? 3, 2, sitting on the edge of your chair. 1, we're just going to pop and lift. So this is a double movement. Now, for those of you with abdominal issues, you might find it too difficult to do both legs. So you can do one and the other. So we have single side jacks, which is as the timing of the movement is quite quick, or we have slow or fast, small or big seated jacks. Perfect. Keep going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So they use, oh shush Siri, they use a lot of the body. So you don't be surprised if that gets the heart rate up a little bit more than you perhaps expected it to, okay? All right, for this next exercise, you don't have to use the band, but you can use the band around the knees just as a point of contact. I'm just going to show you, but you don't have to do this. The band can come around the knees, and the reason I say that is because we're doing the next exercise that we do, we'll use the band, so you can use that now and just hold on to it. So wrap the band around the knees and just hold on to it. This movement here is very similar to one that I gave the people that can't twist in the warm-up round, the abdominal exercises. So sitting on the edge of your chair so that you have some space behind your back, between your back and the chair. We breathe in and we really lift our chest up like we're a tall statue or a tall soldier. Lift. And then exhale, scoop, 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 scoop. Now, hopefully, I know I'm wearing black, so it's very difficult to see me. We are trying to C-shape our spine. That means that, yes, we curve our back, we roll our shoulders forwards, we tuck our tail under, but also we pull our tummy muscles inwards to really hug our spine and our organs. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, scoop. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, scoop. Now you make this exercise more difficult by creating more intensity here. The movement alone doesn't necessarily feel difficult for some people. You have to really deliberately pull everything in, rib cage down, tummy in, pelvic floor up, and lift. And if I make a big, big, big effort to squeeze, I feel like I'm working my abdominal muscles, and I haven't, fortunately for me, been through any type of trauma or illness. So it should work for most of you. Have a breather. Good, have a rest. Back round into our banded position. So again, if you don't have a band available to you, you can still do this action. those of you that do, it's quite good to use the band because it gives you something to press against. So we're going to wrap the band around our knees if you haven't already. And two options, you can either hold the band and then just rest over, or you can hold the center of the band together, totally up to you. Bringing your feet a little closer together, and then all we're going to do here is abduct the knees away from each other, and then we're going to hold. So staying tall, okay, open the knees away from each other, hold, and then slowly return. Good. Open the knees away from each other, hold, and slowly return. Good. Now obviously the wider the abduction, the harder the exercise will feel. You may want to accommodate by going a little bit wider on the feet. That might suit some of you more. And release. Good. Stay tall. Open and squeeze. And release. You might want to come super narrow. Open and squeeze. Well, I'm feeling that now, so I hope you are. And release. We'll do one more, and again you can be doing this movement without the band. You will still be creating an abduction of the hip, it's just not so difficult. And release, and have a break. Okay, so that was probably the toughest round exercise wise, so you can choose to just finish on that one, press skip to the next one, or skip these next exercises, or because we need to keep it even for my OCD, we're going to do our second set of our third block together. Are we ready? Jacks, half jacks, big, small, double, you choose. Ready? And go. Perfect. Well done, gang. You can always eliminate the legs and just do the arms, or you can always eliminate the arms and just do the legs. So many options available to you. I'm here to guide you, not dictate what you have to do. That is up to you, okay? Your road to recovery is very much dependent, 5 seconds, on you listening to your body and not doing too much. And rest. Have a breather. Cool. Next exercise, tummy scoops. You can put the band on to get ready, or if you don't have one, you can of course just keep the hands on the thighs. Sit up, breathe in. Ready with those tummy muscles. Exhale, good. Chin down, tail under, scoop, make a C with your spine. Lift, breathe in. Exhale. Lift, breathe in. Exhale. Breathe in. Exhale. It's important you don't do these too quickly because we're doing it with our breathing. We don't want to get dizzy or hyperventilate, so make sure that you hold. Slowly let all that air go, and lift. Let's just do one more. C shape. Use and find those tummy muscles. And release. Fantastic. Back to our final exercise. Wrap the band over. Hold in any way you wish. So of course, dependent on how tightly you have the band wrapped will depend on how difficult the exercise is. So you choose your tension. Last exercise coming up here before we have a little stretch and I let you go. Are you ready? In 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. Abduct those knees. Creak, 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 creak with the band. Good. And together, slowly. Same principle. The outward phase is just as important as the inward phase, or vice versa. The inward phase and control back is just as important as the bit that works. Slow, slow, slow. Don't let those knees ping back together. Open. You may want to take the feet a little wider and make this movement a little bigger. Open. I certainly feel that more when my feet go wider. And close. Open. And one more. And relax. Give it a little bit of a shake. Well done. Fantastic. So 3 sets of 3 exercises for heart raising gently, for upper body, especially those postural muscles that we need so desperately when we come out of ICU, and also lots of leg strengthening exercises which are simple and easy to just get familiar with. We're just going to do a few seconds cooling down, just getting the body back to a pre-exercise state, a few stretches, and then I'm going to let you go. I hope you've enjoyed it. But if you can, make sure that you bear with me through these last little bits. Give the arms a little bit of a shake. Rolling out the shoulders. Really start to bring in some breath now. There's not really any right or wrong here. So you can kind of roll one shoulder and then the other. It's just about acknowledging some of the parts of the body that you've worked. Opening the chest up, so pulling the arms behind you, looking up to the sky or the ceiling. Good, closing the hands down in front of you, just stretching open the shoulders, tucking the chin in. Do that again for me, so open. Nice, hold. Close it up. Separate those shoulders. You can raise the arms a little higher should you feel you want to. Let's do that one more time, as wide or as low as it needs to be. And then exhale, close, round off that upper back. Good, and release, come back to center. Taking one arm all the way over the body, and then using the second arm to give it a little hug in. Stretch out those shoulders. Perfect. Just be mindful that when you're stretching one part of your body, you're not relaxing too much through another, so that we try and maintain our focus on our posture all the way through, stretching or working or not. And then that will give us a good basis for improving our posture just generally, if we're always mindful of it. Good, just have a little bit of a shake. Other arm comes all the way over, pull across, hand or arm, up to you. Don't rotate. Keep that posture. Well done. And gently release. Give the arms a little bit of a shake. Again, if you have abdominal issues, don't do this. Just take a bit of a breather. A few twists to just acknowledge that spine. You might find that after this workout, you have a bit more range, which is fantastic. And relax. And then for the legs, we're just going to shuffle right to the very edge of your chair. Do make sure you still feel supported. You can hold on if you wish. We're going to tuck one foot under us and extend the other foot away from us. I'll show you from the side. Tuck one foot under, extend the other one out, and then slowly just take a lean forwards. Now, you might be totally happy to bring your hands down towards your shin or your thigh. Try not to push on the knee, and hinge forwards and find that stretch through the backs of the hamstrings. If you're quite tight in the backs of the legs for whatever reason, you might find just leaning forwards and staying holding on is enough. Well done. Last few moments here, and these stretches are the sorts of things that you can do every day. You will benefit so much from stretching, releasing those muscles. Other leg, tuck one in, extend one out, either lean forwards or slide as far down as you wish. And to really improve the flexibility of those muscles, you should be thinking about doing these stretches for at least 30, 40 seconds, okay? More, fantastic. Less, it will feel great, but it won't necessarily make your muscles any more flexible, and it won't really improve the length of those muscles. So try and be patient with stretches wherever you can. Slowly come back up, a little bit of a breather. So this may be not for some of you, but try, see how you feel. If you have had any issues with the hips, then just be mindful to be careful here. I'm going to give you an option afterwards should you be able to do it, but you might need some support. First option here is to turn onto the side of our chair. I'm just going to move my beans out of the way. Onto the side of your chair. Your inside buttock stays on the chair and your outside buttock comes off the chair. Lean sideways and then bring that outside leg, the one that is off the chair, behind you. And then all you're going to do is just lift your chest up. And hopefully what you have felt is a big stretch down the back of that leg, the front of that leg, the back leg. Okay, if that's not possible for you, if your back doesn't like that, if your abdominals don't like that, then you stay there if you're doing that stretch. The only other real way of stretching the quadriceps is by maybe holding somebody's hands and bringing the foot onto the chair behind you, and again standing tall, okay? Or it may be lower than that, you might pop it onto the sofa and then standing tall. And that's the way that you are going to find a stretch in the front of the quad. So just be kind to yourself, don't force it. All right, have a breather, slowly come back round to center, switch around the other way. So inside buttock is on, hold on to the chair if you need to, outside buttock is off, and then send that leg back, lifting up the chest, getting a big stretch through that quad, through the hips. But again, if it's not suitable, with support with somebody or with holding onto your chair, just place your shin or your foot onto the chair so that you get some extension through the front of the body there. Well done. And relax. Okay. You have done fantastically well, or at least I hope you have, and I hope you've enjoyed the session. If you have any feedback, then please contact the ICUsteps Chester group. And I hope you have a lovely rest of your day and that you keep on exercising and you have a wonderful week.